So you want to overcome your social anxiety, but where do you start? You probably read a bunch of articles on what social anxiety is, and you're probably binge watching a lot of videos on how to build confidence, how to build self-esteem, how to talk to strangers, but nothing is sticking. Your social anxiety is either the same or it's gotten worse. So what gives? The problem is you're not approaching overcoming your social anxiety methodically. And what do I mean by this? I mean, instead of taking a big problem of social anxiety and breaking it down into understandable categories that you can individually target, you're keeping it at that big, vague level. And so throwing all these great tools and exercises won't be very effective. And in today's video, I'm going to help you with just that. I'm going to help you take your big problem of social anxiety and break it down into categories so that you can create a roadmap for yourself and all your effort will be effective. But before I jump right in, let me introduce myself for those who are new here. My name is Asha, and I work with people who struggle with severe social anxiety and avoidant personality disorder, and I help them go from feeling terrified of socializing and feeling completely alone to feeling confident, having amazing social skills, and making friends. Now, where do you start? If you've watched my previous video on what social anxiety feels like, you'll notice that towards the end, I summarize social anxiety into 3 categories. The first one is lack of basic intuitive social skills. The second one is we have no idea how people perceive us. And the third one is we are hyper aware of situations. Now, I want you to keep that in mind, okay? Next, I want you to think of a social situation that triggers your anxiety. That could be talking to your boss or giving a presentation or talking to one-on-one on someone. Whatever it is, I want you to think about that really hard. And in today's video, I'm going to use a situation that's actually a real situation of a client that I've worked with. Alright, so the situation for today is I am terrified of talking to my boss. Whenever my boss calls me into his office, my heart beats out of my chest. And when I walk in, I seem to be cool, but I am dying on the inside. I walk in and I talk to him and I'm unable to look at him in the face. And everything seems to be okay, but then I hear his voice change and his tone change, and the way he's fiddling his pen, I can see he's getting annoyed with me. I can see he's thinking I'm probably saying something stupid. So I start fumbling all my words, and I probably am saying something stupid, and he's getting annoyed with me. I can see it now, and I'm getting worse, and I just ask to be excused. So I run to the washroom and go into a cubicle. I put the toilet seat down, I sit down, and I start dry heaving as I know I'm gonna lose my job the next day. Okay, so the last bit is, you don't have to worry about the last bit. That was just, I added it for dramatic effect. It's real, but it doesn't matter in this context, okay? Now what I want you to do is take that situation and apply it to the 3 categories. Now, one thing to note is see how detailed I got with that situation, okay? I want you to be as detailed with it. So what do I mean by applying it to the 3 categories? I'm going to show you right now. Let's start with the first category. Lack of basic intuitive social skills. So what basic intuitive social skills do you think I lack here in this situation? You're probably going to say, you probably lack the ability to have eye contact, which is great. I couldn't stare at the boss's face, right? But if you look closer, there is one more, and that is not knowing how to interact with authority. And I know you're going to be like, Asha, how am I supposed to guess that? That was just way too hard. I know you will get better with time. The more practice you have with this, you will get much better at this, I promise, okay? So, for lack of basic intuitive social skills is the inability to have eye contact and the inability to act properly around people with authority, okay? Now let's move on to the second category. The second category is having no idea how people perceive us. How did I assume I was perceived in that interaction with my boss? I thought that he thinks I'm stupid, he thinks I'm weird, he probably thinks I'm annoying, right? So I want you to list these words down. Now, let's move on to the third category, hyper aware of situations. So what did we notice in that situation? Notice that his tone was different, notice that he was fiddling his pen a bit weird. These are things I want you to list down. I noticed these things. So now let's recap. In the first category, I realized I have trouble with eye contact and I have trouble with authority. Second category is I think I'm stupid and I think I'm annoying. And the third category is I noticed his tone of voice and I noticed the way he fiddled his pen. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to do this for 3 social situations. And what you're going to have at the end of it is a bunch of basic intuitive social skills that you don't have, a bunch of different perceptions that you generally think you have, and a bunch of things you tend to notice in an interaction. So now you can see we're breaking down your big social anxiety into things we can kind of target. So now you know basic social skills that you need to work on, and you also know the narratives that you tend to fall back on whenever you get nervous. And you also know that you're always paying attention to these certain things. So what do you do with all of this information? It might already be a little obvious actually, right? Now you know the basic social skills that you're supposed to work on. You know the beliefs that you tend to fall back on, and you notice all the different things of a conversation that you pay attention to, which you need to learn how to objectively process. Now, most people make the mistake of trying to work on their social skills first, trying to work on eye contact and trying to work on their comfort with authority. But here's the thing, I highly suggest you start with the second category. The second category is actually the most crucial and complex component of this all. And if you can fix that one, the rest are going to be really simple. So what do I mean by this? I want you to look at all the things you've written down. I'm stupid, I'm weird, I'm being annoying, I'm being this and that. I want you to list all of these down, and I want you to figure out, when did you form all of these beliefs? How do I mean by this? When did you form? I want you to look back in time, in when you're childhood or when you're a young adult, and start looking what memories really played a part into making you think I'm weird, or I'm annoying, or I'm stupid. And I touched on this a little bit in my video on where does social anxiety come from. I try to help you look back in time and be like, where in life should you be looking at, and what you should be looking at. You should be looking at how your parents are, how sociable they are, what are your relationship with your parents, what was your early memory of making a friend or losing a friend, all this good stuff. And this is usually where people get help. People get therapists, people get counselors, all of these different things, because it's tough to ask the right questions. And for some people, it's really tough to even look back because it's so cloudy. But I promise it will get better with time. You need to sit down and learn how to look back and think of all these memories. Think which were the most crucial memories that made you think, I am weird, I am stupid, I am annoying, I am this, I am that. And this is incredibly important, guys. I cannot emphasize this enough. When you figure out the cause of you thinking you are X, you are Y, you are Z, and you look at that memory, you have so much more power over your social anxiety. And sure, it's not the end, you're not solved, there's a lot more to work on, but it's the biggest step you can take. And one thing you're going to hear me say again and again and again is that the thing that us people who struggle with social anxiety are the worst at, it's not social skills. It's actually we're the worst at being able to accurately guess what people think about us. And I'm serious. We can have a stadium of people cheering us and telling us how amazing we are, and then we'll go back home and we'll wonder, was that real? Were they just making fun of me? Am I being pranked? That's what we will be like. We will doubt every single thing. Even if someone's screaming at us in the face saying they like us, they think we're great, we are going to reject that. Okay? So being able to pinpoint when did you form these beliefs gives you all the power to realize that you are falling back into a habitual pattern of thinking rather than thinking this is an objective thing that people think about you. Now, once you're done with that, you can go into learning social skills, and you can learn the even more complex skill of being able to accurately judge all the elements of a conversation to your advantage. Now, I hope this video has helped you guys, given you some understanding on how to go about fixing your social anxiety, where to start, what to look at, and all that good stuff. Let me know how it goes for you. And for those who want to work one-on-one with me and overcome your social anxiety ASAP and become confident and have amazing social skills and make friends, feel free to book a strategy call with me. The link is in the description. I will talk to you guys soon.